Congratulations on your MVP title for the LEC Summers Split.
Yeah, split.
How was it? How do you feel?
I feel really happy that not only I won the MVP but also we won the finals. Honestly, I don't really care that much about the MVP because the finals themselves were so stressful that I could forget what happened before the game. And when I got the trophy, the MVP trophy, I knew I have to perform well because I knew that my team play counts on me. And I was really happy with my performance in the first two games, but I felt like I kind of fell off a bit in the game 3, 4 and 5. And even though I still played fine, I felt like I could play so much better. So I think during Worlds, I really want to focus on that. I want to like always be a strong rock for my team so they can rely on me. But at the same time, I'm so happy right now that we actually closed out the series because every game was really stressful and Fnatic is a great team and it was so difficult and honestly like, oof.
It was a stressful game, right?
It was really stressful, yeah. Even the 5th game, we were ahead, but then we started making a lot of mistakes and from like 6-1, we went to like 6-5. They kind of came back in kills. And then we took a really bad fight top where we overchased and they almost got Nash, and if they would do Nash, they would play outscale us because at some point we didn't really have AD carry in the comp. So even though we won early game, we made a lot of mistakes, and that's why the 5th game was stressful. And compared to, for example, BO5 that we had against SKT during MSI, like every game was kind of one-sided because whoever won the early game was in control. Against Fnatic though, it was really back and forth. So I would say it was the hardest BO5 of my life.
It was a show match, I'd say. You had a lot of going back and forth between you. Like at some point you thought you would win and then they turned things around and then you just barged in again. So what do you think though that was the decisive factor for the win? Was it the draft? Because a lot of people talk about the draft.
I feel like our draft in game 1 and 3, that the ones that we lost, we made like mistakes in draft, that's why we lost them. But obviously we also played bad. Fnatic was better than us, so I want to clarify that I'm not saying that we would win every game, but I'm just saying that I felt like we made a lot of mistakes in draft. And I feel like the 5th game and the other games, we actually like had a really good draft and we knew how we want to play. So I would say deciding factor was like partially the fact that we had good drafts in the games that we won and we were really confident with it, but also I felt like after we won 4th game, I felt like we will win 5th game because we are a 5th game team and we don't stress out and we have big balls. And we are just basically like we don't stress out and we go all in, you know, we are not scared. If it's 5th game, we will play the champions that are 5th game champions, and those champions are like really like go in champions. Like we don't like to be scared in the 5th game, we don't like to play slow, we want to show that we are the better team. So I feel like when we as G2 go into 5th game, we already think about like we are so good, you know, like we were not losing this and we are really hungry, you could say. So that's why I felt like when we went to the 5th game, we would play win after we won the 4th one. But at the same time, when we started throwing and we almost lost Nash, I was like really stressing out. But during like until we lost Nash, I thought we would stomp and then the early game sucked as well. So yeah, there's like so many things in my head. But yeah, I'm just happy. Yeah.
So you think it also was this psychology factor then? You feel pumped.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even about feeling pumped, it's just being confident in yourself, right? I mean, even before we started BO5, I felt like we would win, but obviously, if I would feel like we would lose, or if I would not actually be sure that will we actually lose, like I wouldn't be confident in myself, then I would probably not play as good. But I think psychological factor is really important in League because if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe that you can actually win, then you will probably not win. And you can even show up, you can play really well, but you will not win. And in my career, it happened before in the past where my teams or even myself, we didn't really believe we would win, and we did show up, but we never won. But with G2, we always like get into the BO5 or get into the game thinking that we are the better team and we will be on top.
And do you think Fnatic improved from your last game on playoffs?
Yes, I think that Fnatic played much better than last week. I felt like they also fixed their draft a bit and they were like way more prepared for our picks. We also were way more prepared for their picks, but since they were like prepared for our picks, I mean, okay, but basically it's like kind of simple but like complicated. So we know that they want to play Yumi TF, so like they never got it right. Yeah. But at the same time, they knew we would play Kled, and they would prepare Jax against it, and Jax is really good into Kled. So that's why I felt like some drafts were not perfect because we would opt into matchups that are just not the best for us, and we could for sure draft the better. But at the same time, they played really well, and they played much better than last week, and they didn't tilt compared to last week. And it was super hard.
It did seem at some point that it things that were made as, you know, mistakes or missteps had to do with the fact that it seemed like the players did not really match with the characters. That's why it was a draft issue for most people. That's what they say. Like they did not feel as comfortable with the heroes that they were playing.
I think both teams were really comfortable with the champions. I didn't feel like no one played anything that they didn't play before. I think everyone had like their champions, like every game. But I do feel like playing on a big stage, playing in front of such a big crowd, and they were like really loud, and I loved it. I love the crowd, but it's just way more stressful than playing, you know, in the studio and knowing that even if you lose, you have one more chance next week, right? So I think some mistakes probably happened because both teams were stressed, you know. Both teams wanted to win, and both teams looked for a lot of plays, and a lot of plays wouldn't work, you know, and that's how you lost. But on the other hand, a lot of plays did work, and that's how you won. So I feel like I think it was really stressful for us in Fnatic.
So who was Fnatic's best tonight?
Honestly, I don't really know. I felt like all of them played really well. I wouldn't give it to one guy because I felt like they were playing as a team and they were playing good, you know. So I mean, I could talk about Reckless, you know. I could talk about Brox. I could talk about Bipo, Nemesis, Hillisang. All of them just played good. I don't think there was like Fnatic MVP, you know. I think all of them just played really good and they played really well as a team, and they shouldn't like take this loss wrong, you know. Like we still have such a strong teams going into Worlds, and we have to perform there, you know, both of us. Now we are allies, no longer opponents.
But they did seem to take it bad though, despite that, what you say. It was a hard,
I mean,
because it was a very good run for them too.
Yeah, I mean, I think both teams would take it really badly. I think if we would lose, we would probably cry as well. I saw like some of their players crying. I think that's completely normal, you know, because there's like so much stress, and all of it was released at the end of the game, and I fell down because I blacked out because I was screaming too hard. And at the same time, Fnatic members were like, they lost, you know, and they were like so close twice. So I'm pretty sure that, I mean, we would take it as badly, if not even worse than them, because we were the favorites going into the series, and we thought of ourselves as the better team, but they proved us that they can match us or even play better than us. So, I mean, I'm happy for Europe, but at the same time, I'm like really happy for us.
So, closing this off, do you have something to say to your Greek fans?
Well, I would like to thank all of the fans for supporting us, and I hope you guys will keep supporting us and us as a region, but us as also G2. Today, the crowd was like a bit more after Fnatic than after G2, but they still did chant our name, and they would always be really happy when we went back on stage. So I want to thank all the fans that are like supporting us since a long time, and my fans and all the new fans that we pray God after winning the final. So thank you all, and we'll try our best to win Worlds.